Next up, we're going to go over to Anya. Anya, where are you coming from? Oh, Anya, there you are.
Hi, I'm from Austin, Texas.
Oh, welcome.
Austin, Texas. Very nice.
My question is, how was your experience with Voltron and DreamWorks different than your experience with Adventure Time or Cartoon Network, both with like the cast and crew and just the fans in general and their reaction?
All right. Time out. Anya, that was such a good question. You broke the internet, and he's momentarily dropped off, but he will be back. And in the meantime, I have to ask you, what's your favorite of the two?
It's really hard, but I guess I'd say Adventure Time just because it's really close to my heart. And it meant a lot to me for a vast majority of my life. So
boom. Okay, I'm back again. Good. I don't know what's going on, but I'm quicker this time. My re-entries are getting faster and faster. You know what? The Wi-Fi might be trying to not make this happen, but we're getting back in it. So thank you for being patient.
Did you catch Anya's question, Jeremy?
I did. I believe your question was if the experience from Voltron DreamWorks is different than Adventure Time, Cartoon Network, both with cast, crew, and the fans. Is that correct? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I think the biggest difference between the two shows for me was definitely just the characters themselves are pretty different. And then, you have different families on both shows. So I have the Adventure Time family and the Voltron family. I think with the Adventure Time family, like a lot of the cast was much older than me, especially when I first started because I was like 12. And so, you're kind of the kid coming up through and you're like learning from everybody, which is really a cool experience, kind of getting to be taught and work on the job as you're coming up and through. So that was kind of a cool thing. And I got to grow up with them. But then on Voltron, when I first started, I was already like 17 or 18. And so I was, obviously knew what I was doing. And so I just got to come in and just be kind of like at the same, I think, place with the rest of the cast, which is cool in that way. And then I think the experience with fans has been great across the board. I think it's been a little bit different just in the, for Adventure Time, the audience is pretty broad. You have little kids to adults and everything else. And so I think like the type of questions you would get about Adventure Time are always different. And you have like little kids coming up to you and asking you about like little things in episodes that you're like, I have no idea, but you're super cute. And then, for Voltron, a lot of the fan base has been like kind of teenagers to, we have like a really big teenage following. And so like on social media, I got like way more people following me because they weren't like kids, they were like teenagers. And so I think that's been different just with, it feels like it has a more rabid fan base just because I think the age of the fan base is a little bit older. Whereas Adventure Time, I think probably has a bigger fan base overall, but a lot of that is like little kids to like adults who, won't like go on social media really. And so I think that's the biggest difference is seeing the demographics and how they kind of relate to being on social media and interacting with me as an actor. That's probably the biggest difference, which is kind of cool to see.